Good morning and welcome to the Laws of Life webcast network. Today we present to you the Laws of Business Breakthroughs, hosted by Bimal Shah. Bimal is the CEO of Raj Achievers, and to spend time with Bimal, in my opinion, is the equivalent of receiving a gift of $1 million. So listen up in the next 15 minutes. Let's get some laws of business breakthroughs and let's talk. So welcome, Bimal.
Thank you for having me here today. Apologize for the pirate look. I still have recovering eye, so
Listen, I admire your resilience in continuing to do your show even when you're not 100%, and I hope that you're feeling okay. Are you
okay.
feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling better. It's getting better every day, so making progress, and that's on the right track. But still need to rest and take care. So that's what I've been doing last 2 weeks. Still maybe a week to 10 days more before full normalcy. But today I
Well,
want to go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, everybody out there watching, let's give Mamal some serious Facebook love and YouTube love because he still showed up to do his show and to teach us today. So, what are you teaching us today, Mamal?
One of the most important topics of any business is a business plan. And this is where a lot of entrepreneurs make a big mistake. They say, well, I need a business plan. Let me go out there, have someone write it for me, and then I'll go out and get there some funding. And that's where the problem lies. The people, if someone else writes your business plan, it's not your business plan. Okay, it's someone else's because they're not thinking from your perspective. They're not looking from your perspective as to what you want in your business. So it is very important that you take involvement in writing your business plan. You don't have to necessarily write it, but that's what I've done is I've created a very detailed questionnaire that builds a strategic business plan. Now there's a difference between a strategic business plan and a standardized business plan. The standardized business plans looks at competition, finance, methods. It's like a standard marketing things that every business does and does not excite the investor or the bank. So you go out there and say, go to the bank and say, I need funding, I need investment in the business. They're gonna look at it. Well, there's nothing new that I'm reading here that tells me about your business, about how you're going to structure and what are you going to do specifically to grow your business. The strategic business plan, on the other hand, is all about you. It's all about looking at, okay, this is your business, this is your target market, this is how you're going to reach, this is your message, this is your budget, this is your team, this is who's going to be working, and it makes more sense. And then banks and investor buy in. I can tell you a true story about a company where we did a business plan that was very detailed about how his delivery systems are going to work and how his connections, and we listed all his 60 retail stores with the names that he had connections with. The guy he presented to it said, well, let's make $4 million deal, and then he was off and running. He didn't need to even go to a bank or an investor. He just made a business deal with the business plan. So a strategic business plan actually helps you grow your business. You may not even need the funding to grow your business. The way it's written, it actually helps you build customized strategies. So that's a big difference between a strategic business plan and a standardized business plan, that you get off the shelf. And I actually put a link.
I agree with that. I think people, are a little naive. I think that a business plan is not just for getting investing. It can be for you to outline and organize your process of how you're going to build your business. I've built multiple $1 million brands, never had an investor for any of them.
Right.
Started with good ideas, but innovation. I think innovation is very important, and energy is very important. What do you think is and timing and networking all of these different pillars coming together constantly to find the right opportunity and the right partner. Do you think that the right partner, and that can be a client as well, is essential to the plan?
Right. So there are different ways of funding. When you're talking about right partner, there is a concept called customer funded business. A customer funded business where the customer funds your business growth, and there are four different models. One is a scarcity model, so something that you have a product or a service that's only going to last for a specific time, like fashion design or clothes or a specific thing. So if you are in that type of industry, then you can use that to market and get funding from your customers. The second is prepaying. Your customers, if you say, I'm going to launch my product or service in 3 months, 6 months from today, okay, but if you prepay, I will offer you a discount in advance. Then you will be able to buy it 30-40% less than the customers who would come in at that time. So that's an advance or prepaid method. The third is, you're looking at a subscription model where everybody pays a monthly subscription, where they pay every single month and they go from there. And the fourth is where we look at, okay, this is where the customer becomes your a partner and helps you launch your product, and you take the customer with you in building your product and service. That's one of the ideal ways also to do it. And you actually build a product that the customers really want. And you take some customers as partners, not necessarily as partners, but they became your pillars in helping you build what the market really needs. And you don't need that many. You may just need a few, 2 or 3, who help you do that. So you can start there. So those are very important points for anyone to take care of. Does that make sense?
Oh, tell me a little bit. What is it? Tell me a little bit more about the scarcity model. What does that mean exactly?
So scarcity model means that you have something that's not going to be there forever. Okay, and because it is there right now, you are offering your customers at a discount, or it's going to go away. So buy now before it disappears. So that's the type of scarcity model. That what that means is that fashion design or shoe clothing or related to a game or Super Bowl, for example, when there was a Super Bowl, there was a lot of things that were being sold that were related to the Super Bowl. But once the Super Bowl is over, when it was in Miami, then the hype, the need for that product or the excitement for that product no longer stay because it's already over, and the sales go down. So, but you always want to build a product that is for all seasons. If you build a unique product that is for Christmas, okay, but if Christmas is recurring and there's a recurring demand for your product, then you have a seasonal business that can run every Christmas season. So that's type of a scarcity model, and it's very essential that when we look at a strategic business plan, that they need to focus on the minimum viable product. Minimum viable audience means that what is the minimum number of customers you need to get to where you want to? Not the maximum number. Oh, I want to have 10,000 customers. I want to have 5,000. If you only need 100 customers to pay you $10,000 for you to make $1 million, then chase those 100 customers. You don't need to go after the larger part of the pie. So then build an amazing. Now let's say I'm just taking example of $1 million, right? Let's say we target $1 million, right? So now, what is your $10,000 dream come true experience? Build it out. Why would a customer pay you that 10 grand? Okay. Now you build a $10,000 customer experience, and you write it out and you present it to 2 or 3 customers and ask them, if I were to offer you this from beginning to end, would you be willing to pay me? And that's just advice. Hey, I'm not asking you to sell anything, do anything. just asking for your feedback and your opinion. And you ask that from, very valuable people whose opinion matters to you. Hey, if this customer is telling me this, then that's important. That's important to me.
I like it.
Yeah.
You inspire me.
Yeah, and then the second thing is a dream come true experience. Yeah, you need to have a written dream come true experience for your customers. You need to write it out. That is so essential, because if that's where, if you have everything else right, but you can't deliver a great experience to your customer, then your business can fall apart.
That's true. What do you think is the number one thing that a customer always wants?
What was the question?
What do you think a customer always wants?
So customer always, is always looking for great, well, what I call is the surprise factor. Okay. So you have the satisfaction, the sacrifice, and the surprise. Service or product. So anytime in life, have you bought something and where you felt like you got less than what you paid for? Are you unhappy? Hey, I paid X for this, but it wasn't worth it. Have you ever had that experience?
Yeah, I think it's happened to everyone, but you know what? Thank God it doesn't happen often.
Right. So when it does happen, do you ever go to that company or retailer or someone who's selling that service ever again?
No.
Your chances, no. So that's a flat out no, right? So that's one thing we want to avoid, and that is called sacrifice. So customers do not want, so when you answer to your questions, what do customers always want? They want the surprise factor. They do not want to sacrifice. They do not want to feel like they're sacrificing. And the second thing is satisfied. When you paid what you got, I paid X and it was okay. I'm happy, but it's not too good. If someone else sold me cheaper, then I would be able to buy cheaper. So surprise factor when you got a lot more than what you paid for. That's what customers want.
That's true. Surprises in general are fun too. A bonus gift, some type of experience that leaves them feeling excited.
Right. So, I also have a link to the strategic business plan. If you want to put it below, people can go to that strategic business plan link. There's a link that I put it, Christopher, if you can put it there. That's a link there where people can actually build their strategic business plan. It's called bit.ly, their strategic business plan.
Okay. When is your next event?
Next Friday. Like this week, I'm still resting. So
next Friday? And is it in person or is it on Zoom?
It's on Zoom, still on Zoom, but slowly and steadily, we'll get you in person afterwards.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And how do you think now that things are opening up in Florida, do you think in-person events are more powerful for business success than virtual?
So for every business, they have to look at what works for them. For many businesses, still Zoom is a lot better, and they got so used to Zoom that they don't want to go to virtual, in-person events because they're accomplishing their objective through Zoom or Teams or something else. Now, some people feel that some businesses that the in-person touch is very important because the interaction, the connection, the networking, the engagement, all of that cannot happen in a virtual event. So there is no substitute to the virtual event.
Okay.
So it depends. It differs from business to business.
And what's your preference as a business expert? Do you prefer in-person or Zoom?
So in my business, which is customer, like I said, every business is different. For my business, the workshops that I do with companies, with team members, I see better results in person rather than Zoom when I have to train employees. But if I'm doing a one-on-one employee training, the Zoom is better. And if I'm meeting the owner, Zoom is better. So it's different. And if I'm doing the CEO mastermind, Zoom is better because each individual owner can be right there from the computer, sharing their data, sharing their P&Ls, which is not possible in person because then they're pulling stuff off their head, which does not match what they have.
Right.
you know. So,
I like it. Well,
so it,
everybody, make sure to follow Bamal at Rajparth Achievers on Facebook, which we're also streaming to. And also be sure to go to Bamal's link tree, take a picture of the QR code on the screen, fill out his strategic plan on his link tree, and get your business plan organized, because by doing so, you will take your business to the next level. And if you need the best business expert, work with Bimal Shah, and feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and have a fantastic motivational Monday. See you next
thank you,
week.
Blanca. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.